teacher, and welcome to another episode of The Blue Curtain. I'm so glad you decided to join us today, and I'm thrilled to welcome my friends Luke and Dennis. They are here with us. They're both from out of town, and they've joined us to be in our upcoming show, Clack Moo, Cows That Type. This is such a fun show, and I'm sitting back there at my desk today while they're rehearsing the music, and the music is just, it's fun, isn't it? Are you enjoying? Today's your first rehearsal, but it sounded like you were enjoying all the clucks and the moos and the quacks that you have to throw in the middle of the music.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I don't know. It's upbeat. It's kind of a eclectic mix of like Motown and there's some funk in it and
disco.
It's just it's just fun.
Disco beat.
Yeah, it's great. That's great. So I wanted to ask, Luke, where are you from originally?
I am from a small town right outside of Knoxville, Tennessee called Luttrell. It's a little farming community. So I tell people I'm from Knoxville, just to make it simpler, but I'm from Luttrell.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Maybe some people have heard of that. You never know. How about you, Dennis?
I'm from Lynchburg, Virginia.
Okay.
It's about central. It's kind of settled in the mountains.
Yeah. Nice. So I wanted to ask each of you, how did you get into acting? Considering both of you are kind of from rural areas, it sounds like, and be interested to know.
I got into acting in high school. It was not much of a real theater program in my high school, it was so rural, but we did have one, and it was kind of an excuse for me to, I guess, be the center of attention at the time, and I don't know, I caught the bug, and I decided to try and make a career out of it. It's so much fun, and being on stage is just pure ecstasy for me. So
that's great, and you can definitely tell that. We've had Luke here before in a performance of Treasure Island last spring, and he was a great addition to that cast.
Thank you.
What were the roles that you played in?
I played a character called Jack Abraham, who in turn was also playing Billy Bones, Ben Gunn, and a couple of others that I can't think of myself right now. So,
but all very, very actualized characters. A lot of great depth to all of those
characters.
Thank you very much. It was very fun to watch. So, Dennis, I wanted to ask how you kind of got interested in theater and how that progressed for you.
So as like a really young child, I watched my older sisters doing like community stuff at summer camps, and I was just like, of course, if they're doing it, I have to. Like, that's a must. And so I kind of slowly inched my way in there when I finally like reached the age when I was allowed to go do those things. And then I just kind of ended up continuing, and they like found their other passions, and I was like, this is the one. This is how I'm gonna stick. This is where I'm gonna go.
So you've been doing this since you were young, then?
Yeah.
Very young.
Yeah.
I mean, you're still young, but very young. So I wanted to ask you, what are some of your favorite shows that you've been in your professional career?
I would say I just did Newsies this summer.
Oh, that's a fun show. Where did you do Newsies?
Legacy Theater in Georgia.
Okay.
That was a really fun show. And then I just finished Fiddler on the Roof with Illuvian Stage Company, which is in Lynchburg. And that was a beautiful show. And then I think my third favorite would be Bright Star, which was also with them a couple years ago. And that one's just a magnificent story.
Bright Star is a really special musical. If you're not familiar with it, it was written in part by Steve Martin along with some other people. It had a short run on Broadway, but it's a really beautiful story. Anyway, I wanted to also ask you, what are some of your favorite roles that you've been in?
Favorite roles, I would say in my professional career, my favorite role that I've done would be the dwarf in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which is, I'm a dwarf. But I did that. I was a summer player at the Barter Theater for a time. But I would say overall my favorite role that I've done was in a play called You Can't Take It With You.
Yes,
and I played Boris Kolenkov, who's a extravagant Russian ballet instructor. And that was a really fun part.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great play.
It is. It's one of the classics.
It is very uplifting too. Okay, so this is the part of the interview we get to where I like to ask you a series of what I like to call rapid fire questions This is where I'm asking you these 5 sort of random questions, and the first thing that comes to your head, hopefully you've had some improv training. First thing that comes to mind, just answer. And I will give you the benefit of going second. I'll make Luke go first.
Oh, okay.
You ready, Luke?
Yeah.
Okay. What is a place that inspires you?
There's a specific spot in the Great Smoky Mountains. It's actually right off the road when you go out. There's like a little creek, and people put like rock cairns around in this creek. And I just like to go and sit on this really flat, moss-covered rock, and there's like, it's just like a Zen garden. You know, it's one of my favorite places to be. Just that place in general is very special to me. It's like a enchanted forest. I love the Smokies. Yeah.
That sounds beautiful. Okay, favorite sound?
I like those old horns from like the 20s, like the ooga. I like that. Yeah.
Well, thank you for the sound effect. I appreciate that. That's the first one I've had where someone's actually done the sound for me. I love it. Also, your favorite word?
Shenanigans.
It's a great word.
It's a good word.
It just sounds like it is.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay, so if you were not pursuing a career in acting in the theater, what do you think you would be doing?
I think I would like to be a librarian. I don't know, I'm a huge avid reader, and that job just seems very peaceful to me. You know, organize books and I don't be around books all day. I don't know. I think if I hadn't chose this, I would have done that.
Yeah, that sounds a little bit like your Zen place.
Yeah,
in the forest.
I try to be pretty mellow on all things
Yeah.
all the time, so yeah.
That's great, that's good. Okay, final question. When you get to the pearly gates, what do you want to hear God say to you?
Welcome.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I think we would all want to hear that.
Yeah, hopefully.
Absolutely. Okay, it's your turn.
Let's go.
All right. Dennis, what is a place that inspires you?
There is this, I was about to say little, but it's not little, it's quite large. But there's a theater that used to be an old movie theater in my hometown, and it had multiple fires, like so run down. So like as a middle school and high school, like we would take tours of it and see it all just abandoned. And a couple years ago, they started renovating it, and I actually got to perform in it. Now fully renovated, and it was my first professional show.
Wow.
Was in that theater, and that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And so that's just really inspiring to see that change.
Absolutely. That's really special. What a great experience for you, too. That's awesome. Okay. Favorite word?
Flabbergast.
That is another good one. It sounds like it is. Absolutely. Favorite sound?
I love the sound of a string orchestra tuning.
And are you going to do that sound effect for our start?
I would attempt to, but
I think you need like 20 more people to
yeah.
help you with that one. What is a career that you think you would choose if you were not going down the path of actor?
Well, my first major in college was landscape architecture.
Okay.
So clearly that didn't work, as I changed it after a singular day of class.
Oh wow.
You know, maybe I'd go back to it, if not.
That's still in the creative field, though.
Close.
It's very creative, so that makes sense to me. And final question: when you get to the pearly gates, what do you want to hear God say to you?
Probably just the classic, well done, good and faithful servant.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a classic. I like both of those, absolutely. Okay, well, thank you both so much for joining me today. And thank you for joining us on The Blue Curtain. Please check out our website, emeraldcoasttheater.org, for our upcoming show, Clack Moo, with these guys, and everything else we've got going on.